I'm going to ask Scott Siler, the Chief Operating Officer of Bobby's company, East Arkansas Broadcasters, to come tell you more about our second inductee. Scott.
Hey, just real quick, I was really relieved when I saw there were stairs back there just a second ago. Hey, listen, first to all the inductees, congratulations. I know Bobby, that would be the first thing he would say is congratulations to you guys and how well deserved and what a great honor it is to be inducted in the first class. A few years ago, not on my notes, I reminded Joe that Bobby and I went to Little Rock and we sat down with Joe and Randy Kane at the Citadel offices and we talked programming. And Bobby loves Joe Booker. And a lot of people don't know about Bobby's humor. He picks his times, okay? So I was just sitting there thinking while Joe was talking what Bobby would say to me, especially with the inductee speech, okay? Bobby would nudge me. He would say, look, I don't know if you're my right-hand man or my white-hand man, but you're the whitest person in the room, okay? We do miss Bobby tonight. I do want to tell a little bit of what Bobby means to me, but also to our company and to the broadcast industry. I do have some notes, and the thing is about it with Bobby, so many people know so many things about him, his accomplishments, and what he has done for the industry. So I thought, let's just start with the obvious about Bobby Caldwell. Bobby Caldwell is the best dressed man in the broadcast industry, all right? You can't get around it. When I go to a convention with Bobby in Bradford, when I'm on the phone with someone in the broadcast industry and I tell them who I work for, they say, Bobby Caldwell, best dressed man in the industry. So every time they say that, I think about a long time ago, and believe me, it was a long time ago. I want to take you back to when I was 23 years old. I was news and sports director at KWAK-AM in Stuttgart, Arkansas. Bobby had 3 radio stations at that time, KWIN AM and FM, and KWAK-AM. So a guy named Lance Brown, same age as I was, he was the ops manager. We thought we were doing everything Bobby was asking us to do. Community involvement, news, sports, everything that we saw those guys doing at KWIN AM, we were trying to do in Stuttgart. Bobby calls Lance on a Friday afternoon. And he says, hey, I want you and Scott to meet me at the radio station tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. was a Saturday, okay? So Lance and I thought our young broadcasting careers were going to end the next day, all right? Didn't sleep very well that night. Bobby's family knows this. Bobby beat us to the radio station the next day by probably 30 minutes to an hour. Bobby's one of the most punctual people you'll ever meet in your life. So we get to the radio station, and we walk into Bobby's office. He had driven in from Lynn earlier that day. And on the desk, there's 2 jars of mayonnaise. All right? We were a little confused. All right? One jar had no label on it. The other jar, blue, yellow label, and it looked really good. And when I say the jar had no label on it, I'm talking about there was no tears, no nothing. It was a glass jar with mayonnaise in it. Bobby asked us, which one of these jars of mayonnaise would you buy? We gave him the obvious answer. The one with the label on it. He said, correct. But when you open up that jar of mayonnaise, it better be good. Because they don't come back and buy you again if you're not. So, I wanted to take the time tonight to kind of open up the jar that is Bobby Caldwell. Because behind the best dressed man in the industry, there's a lot of quality. Bobby Caldwell has built a group we now call the EAB Media Group, 59 radio signals in the state, 2 digital newspapers, soon to be more, 3 statewide radio networks, the Arkansas Now News Network, EAB Ag Network, and the EAB Sports Network. Also what you find is a man who believes in this industry. He believes radio stations should serve their community. I lost count as I was trying to add this up. I can't count the millions and millions and millions of dollars that have been raised at Bobby stations through Rotary radio auctions, Kiwanis radio days, JC's event, etc., etc., etc. Millions of dollars have been put back into the community. Much less the amount of emergency broadcasts that has been supplied by those stations through all these years. You also find a man as you open that jar that loves his family. Bradford, his son, Peg, his wife, his brothers and sisters, some who are here tonight. And I got to tell some of them tonight that if Bobby has quoted his mom to me once in the 38 years I've worked for Bobby, it's been hundreds to thousands of times. Some of the great sayings that his mom gave to him when he was younger and gave him a lot of wisdom. But I want to tell you one of my favorite sayings that Bobby has told me from the time I went to work for him. It's not what you can't do, it's what you can do. Now think about that. Think about in your life, if you apply that to the way you live and the way you conduct business, what can you accomplish? So when bullets are flying, it's not what you can't do. It's what can you do. What can you do for the industry? What can you do for your community? What can you do for your family? When you open that jar, you find a really, really great man. But not only that, you find one of the kindest and gentlest people in the broadcast industry. Tonight, I am very proud and I'm very honored to induct Bobby Caldwell into the Arkansas Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Scott. That was really wonderful. Thank you. Bobby would love to be here tonight, but he's still recovering from a recent surgery. And as all of you know, he would never pass up an opportunity to get all dressed up if he was here tonight. I did talk to him, and here are some words that he wanted me to pass along to you. Being a broadcaster has meant so much to me, and I'm very grateful for the positive impact that our radio stations have had on the communities we serve across the state. Our work as broadcasters is not only to educate, inform, entertain our audience, but to be an important part of the cities and towns we live and work in every day. It has been so wonderful to get to know so many of my fellow broadcasters around the state and around the country who share this dedication to helping others in their own backyards. I've worked hard to try to focus on what is important in our business over all of these years. When I majored in radio and television from Arkansas State University, I was more interested in the business side of things, but glad I was able to do some on-air work over the years as well. There are so many people I want to thank for this high honor, including the Hall of Fame Awards Committee, the ABA Board, and the ABA staff. Thank you also to my parents who taught me about having a strong work ethic. Thank you also to my wonderful wife, Peggy, and son, Bradford, for their love, And to the rest of my family that are here tonight, including some of my brothers and sisters, Joanne, Jorma, Kathy, and Max. I also want to thank Scott Siler, our Chief Operations Officer, who's been with our company since 1986. For so many years, as well as all employees, past and present, at the EAB Media Group. I would not be where I am today without all the hard work every team member at EAB has put forward after all these years. I also want to thank a few other people, including our communications attorneys, John Garziglia and Dan Albert, Chuck Anderson for his help with many engineering projects, Keith Hill, our consultant, and Paul Hall, what was then the First National Bacon Win, and now First Financial Bacon Win, for his support and guidance as our banker. And thank you to everyone at the National Association of Broadcasters and the friends I've made there during the years when I served on the radio board. I really enjoy being a broadcaster, and I'm so sorry I'm not able to be with you tonight to keep on doing the great work that our radio and television broadcasters do around the state. Thank you.